The night was heavy with silence. The alien ocean stretched wide like a black mirror, its waves slow but deep, hiding secrets no one wished to see. The village people stood far from the water. They whispered among themselves, their eyes full of fear. They knew the ocean was dangerous. No one entered it. No one survived it. But tonight something terrible happened. A young alien girl, no more than 16, had slipped into the water. The ground had broken beneath her feet and the tide pulled her down like a hungry hand. She screamed once, then her voice was gone, swallowed by the endless waves. The villagers froze. Not one of them moved. They only watched. Their faces were pale in the dim light. They knew what the water could do. They knew no one came back alive. But then, among them, one human stood. He was an outsider, tall and strange in their eyes. His name was Daniel. Daniel's heart raced as he saw the girl, fighting for her life. Her arms rose and fell, her mouth opened, begging for air that would never come. No one moved, no one even shouted. Only Daniel stepped forward. "Help her," his voice cracked. But the villagers looked away. They feared the sea more than they pitied the girl. Daniel clenched his fists. The water looked endless, like a monster waiting to swallow him too. His mind screamed, "Don't do it." But his heart whispered louder, "If you don't, she will die." Without another word, Daniel ran. His boots pounded the ground. The villagers gasped, "No, you fool. The sea will kill you too." But Daniel did not listen. He leapt into the water. The cold struck him like 1,000 knives. His body shook as he sank, bubbles racing past his face. The girl was ahead of him, her pale skin glowing faintly in the dark water. Her long alien hair spread like a cloud, her eyes wide with fear. Daniel kicked hard, fighting the heavy pull of the waves. His lungs burned. The ocean was not like Earth's seas. It was heavier, thicker, and alive in some strange way. The deeper he went, the more it dragged him down. The girl struggled, her body twisting, her hands clawing for the surface. Daniel pushed forward, his arms stretched out. Just one more second, just one more breath. And then, their hands touched. Her fingers were thin and trembling. He closed his fist around her wrist and pulled. She was weak, almost limp. He had to carry her, but the ocean fought back. It pulled them deeper, dragging them toward a black abyss. Daniel kicked, his legs burning. He looked up. The surface seemed so far, like a ceiling of silver he would never reach. His chest screamed for air. The girl's eyes closed. Bubbles escaped her lips. "No," Daniel thought, his mind screaming. "Not while I hold you." He pushed harder. His body ached. The scars on his arms, old wounds from Earth, now glowed faintly blue. The villagers had never noticed them before, but the ocean seemed to notice. The water around him shivered, almost as if alive, almost as if whispering to him. Daniel didn't stop. He kicked again. His arm pulled the girl up. His chest begged for breath, his vision blurred, but he refused to let go. Above, the villagers leaned forward, eyes wide. For the first time, they wanted to believe. Then, suddenly, Daniel broke the surface. He gasped, air flooding his lungs like fire. He dragged the girl's head above the water, holding her tight. She was not breathing, her face was pale, lips blue. The villagers shouted, half in fear, half in awe, "He is alive! He came out of the sea!" Daniel pulled her to shore, every muscle in his body screaming. He laid her on the sand and pressed her chest. "Breathe," he whispered, his voice breaking. "Come back." The girl's chest was still. The world was silent, the waves lapping softly as if waiting. Daniel pressed again. Again. His tears mixed with the salt water on her face. "Please, don't die." And then, she coughed. Water spilled from her mouth. She gasped, sucking air, her eyes flying open. The villagers cried out in shock. The girl lived. Daniel fell back, exhausted. His arms glowed faintly, the strange blue light fading as quickly as it had come. The villagers stepped closer, their whispers sharp. How did he survive? No human should come back from the water. What is he? Daniel lay in the sand, chest heaving, staring at the stars. He felt the ocean's touch still burning in his skin like the sea itself had marked him. He knew this was only the beginning. Far beyond the waves, in the endless dark, something stirred. A shadow moved beneath the water, vast and ancient. It had felt the human enter its domain, and it did not forget. The legend of Daniel had begun. The night was far from over. The villagers still stood in shock, staring at the human who had done the impossible. Daniel sat on the sand, chest rising and falling, his body trembling from the ocean's cold grip. The alien girl lay beside him, alive but weak, her breaths shallow, her skin pale in the moonlight. Nobody spoke at first. The waves whispered louder than the people. Then one voice broke the silence. "He came out of the water alive." Another voice followed, shaking with fear. "No human should survive the sea. It kills us all. It marks us." The villagers pulled back, as if Daniel carried a curse. Their glowing alien eyes reflected the moonlight. They looked at him as one might look at a dangerous beast. But the girl coughed again. Her chest rose. Her lips trembled as air returned. Her eyes opened, soft and silver like her kind. She looked at Daniel, her savior, with awe. He had risked everything for her. Daniel leaned closer. "You're safe now," he whispered. His voice was gentle yet heavy with exhaustion. The girl tried to speak, but only a whisper came. "Why, you help me? You are not one of us." Daniel hesitated. He could not answer. He had no reason, no plan, no reward waiting. Only his heart had spoken when he leapt into the waves. Before he could say more, a cry rose from the crowd. "Look, his arms!" Daniel raised his hands slowly. The scars that once cut across his skin now glowed faintly blue, like fire buried under the flesh. They pulsed with the rhythm of the sea, fading and returning with each beat of his heart. Gasps spread among the villagers, fear mixed with wonder. He carries the mark of the deep. The ocean touched him. Is he chosen or cursed? Daniel stared at his arms, his mind racing. The glow was faint but real. He remembered the moment underwater when the sea had pulled him down. It had felt alive, aware, as if watching him. And now, it had left its mark. The alien girl, weak but conscious, touched his hand. Her voice was stronger now. "The sea saved you because you saved me. It does not give gifts without reason." Her words unsettled the people even more. Whispers grew louder. Suspicion darkened their faces. Then the leader of the village stepped forward. He was tall, his robe heavy with symbols of authority, his eyes glowing brighter than the others. His name was Kalor. His voice was deep and sharp, like stone breaking. "This is no act of kindness," Kalor declared. "The human has brought danger among us. No man enters the water and lives. No scars glow with the ocean's power unless the ocean itself allows it. He is touched. He is different." Daniel stood slowly, though his legs trembled. "I only saved her," he said. "Nothing more." But Kalor's eyes narrowed. "You may believe that, human. But the sea does not choose without purpose. You have taken something from it, or it has taken something from you." The villagers bowed their heads, afraid of Kalor's words. But the girl struggled to sit up, her voice breaking. "No, he saved me. He is no enemy. He is no curse. Without him I would be gone." Kalor's face turned hard. He pointed at Daniel. "If he is no curse, then let him prove it. Let him face the truth of what he has become," the crowd murmured. Daniel's heart pounded. He had no idea what the leader meant. Kalor's voice echoed over the waves. "At dawn, the human will stand before the ocean shrine. If the sea accepts him, he may live among us. If not, it will claim him." The villagers bowed their heads in silence. The judgment was set. Daniel clenched his fists. He had only wanted to save a life. Now he was a prisoner of suspicion. The alien girl reached for his arm, her silver eyes shining with worry. They fear what they do not understand. But I believe you, Daniel. You are not curse, you are hope. Her words gave him strength, but they also placed a weight on his shoulders. Hope was dangerous. Hope could break under fear. As the night grew colder, Daniel sat apart from the others, staring at the black horizon of the sea. The water moved slowly, like a beast breathing in the dark. The scars on his arms glowed faintly, pulsing with each wave. He touched them, his mind heavy. "What did you do to me?" he whispered to the ocean. The waves did not answer, but far beneath the surface something shifted. A shadow, vast and ancient, coiled deeper in the abyss. It had felt his presence, tasted his courage, and now it waited. The villagers slept, uneasily fearing what the dawn would bring. The girl stayed awake, her eyes never leaving Daniel. She knew something the others did not. She had seen the light in the deep when he touched her hand. She had felt the warmth of life return when his scars burned. She whispered to herself, her voice almost lost in the night wind. He is not cursed, he is chosen. The sea has given him a path when it will change us all. The moon sank lower. The waves grew quiet, hiding their secrets once more. But in the silence, Daniel's legend grew. And somewhere in the darkness of the ocean, eyes opened. They were not human. They were not alien. They belonged to something older, something watching, something waiting for the dawn. The sun rose slowly over the alien horizon, painting the ocean in gold and red. But the beauty could not calm the fear in the village. People gathered in silence near the water's edge, waiting for judgment. Daniel stood apart, his arms still, glowing faintly under the morning light. He tried to steady his breath, but his heart was heavy. He had never asked for this. All he had done was save a life. Yet now the weight of the sea and of an entire people pressed down on him. The alien girl sat near him. Her name was Saria. She was still weak from the drowning, but her eyes held fire. She leaned close and whispered, "You are not alone. I will stand with you." Daniel nodded, but before he could speak, the sound of drums filled the air. The villagers parted as Kalor, the leader, approached with his guards. His robe glimmered with symbols of the sea. His face was hard as stone. "Bring the human forward," Kalor commanded. 2 guards stepped toward Daniel, but he walked on his own. His boots pressed into the wet sand, each step heavier than the last. The villagers whispered. Some stared with fear, others with curiosity. None trusted him. At the edge of the shore stood the ocean shrine, a massive stone arch half buried in water. Strange carvings glowed faintly across its surface. It looked ancient, older than the village, older than memory. Kalor raised his hand. "The sea gave you back to us, human. Today it will decide if you belong or if it will take you forever." Daniel stared at the dark water beneath the shrine. He felt the ocean calling him again, tugging at his scars, pulling at his heart. Before he could step forward, Saria cried out, "This is wrong. He already proved his courage. He saved me. Why must he suffer again?" Kalor's eyes narrowed. "Because the sea has chosen him, and if he is not worthy, he will bring ruin to us all." Saria tried to rise, but the guards blocked her. Daniel turned his head slightly, his voice calm. "It's all right. If this is the only way, then I will face it." He stepped into the water. Cold waves touched his legs. His arms glowed brighter. The villagers gasped. The carvings on the shrine pulsed with the same light, as if answering his presence. Kalor's eyes widened, but he hid it quickly. "Go deeper. Let the sea decide." Daniel walked forward until the water reached his chest. He inhaled deeply, then dived under. The world above vanished. Darkness swallowed him whole. Strange blue lights shimmered faintly in the depths, guiding him toward the base of the shrine. The ocean felt alive again, pressing against his skin, whispering through his mind. He reached out, placing his glowing hand on the stone. The carvings lit up, brighter and brighter, until the entire shrine blazed with blue fire. Above, the villagers fell to their knees, shielding their eyes. Saria shouted, "He is chosen, can you not see?" But Kalor's jaw tightened. His voice was low, full of unease. "No. Something is wrong. This power is not meant for a human." Beneath the waves, Daniel felt the shrine tremble. A deep rumble shook the ocean floor. His scars burned like fire. Then he saw it. A vision. A massive shadow coiling in the abyss. Eyes like glowing suns opened in the dark. Its voice thundered inside his head. "You touched my waters. You carry my mark. Your courage will be tested. And when the storm comes, only sacrifice will save them all." Daniel gasped, bubbles streaming from his mouth. The vision faded, but the fear remained. He pushed toward the surface, his chest burning. When he broke through, the villagers gasped again. The shrine still glowed behind him. His body shook with cold, but his eyes burned with fire. Kalor stepped forward. "What did you see, human? What did the sea show you?" Daniel's voice was rough but steady. "Something is coming, something vast from the deep. It knows me now, and it will not stop." The crowd erupted in fear. "A curse! The sea is angry. He has doomed us." But Saria shouted above them all, "No, he is not doom. He is warning us. The sea chose him to save us, not destroy us." Her words split the people. Some believed, others feared more. Kalor's face was shadowed with doubt, but his pride held firm. "Enough. If the storm comes, it is because he brought it. From this day, he is watched. If he falters, he dies." Villagers bowed their heads. Guards stepped closer to Daniel, but Saria rushed to his side. She placed her hand on his arm, her voice soft. "Do not fear. I believe you." Daniel looked at her, his heart heavy yet burning with resolve. "I don't fear for me, I fear for all of us. Something down there is waiting." High above, clouds began to gather. The wind grew stronger. Far across the horizon, a dark shape hovered in the sky, metallic, silent, watching. Daniel saw it first. A ship, not alien, not human, something else. The ocean was not the only enemy. Others were watching too, and they had already chosen him. The storm had passed, but fear remained. Clouds still lingered over the horizon, and the sea moved with strange unrest. In the village, whispers spread faster than fire. Some said the human was chosen. Others swore he was cursed. Daniel felt the weight of every stare. Wherever he walked, eyes followed him. Mothers pulled their children close. Warriors touched their weapons. Yet one face never turned away, Saria's. She stood with him always, defending him with words no one wanted to hear. "He saved me," she said. "He saved us." But the people only shook their heads. Fear was stronger than gratitude. That night, Daniel could not sleep. The scars on his arms glowed faintly in the dark, pulsing with each beat of his heart. The ocean seemed to call him again, whispering in his mind. He tried to resist, but the pull was too strong. He rose quietly and walked to the shore. Saria followed, silent as the night. When he turned, she was already at his side. "You feel it too," she said softly. Daniel nodded. "It wants me back. The shrine was only the beginning." Saria's silver eyes glimmered. "Then we follow where it leads, together." Without another word, they stepped into the waves. The water was cold, but Daniel no longer feared it. His scars glowed brighter, lighting their path. Saria swam with him, her movements graceful, natural, as if the ocean itself accepted her presence. They swam deeper and deeper, until the village lights above were gone. Darkness surrounded them, broken only by the faint glow of strange shapes on the seafloor. At last they reached it, an ancient ruin, half buried in sand and coral. Towers broken by time leaned at odd angles. Stone walls were covered in carvings. that pulsed with faint blue light, the same light that came from Daniel's arms. Saria gasped. Her voice was muffled by the water, but her awe was clear. The lost city. Daniel stared at her. You know this place? She nodded slowly. Only from stories. The elders said it sank long ago, punished by the sea. No one believed it was real. Daniel swam closer, his hand brushing across the carvings. The moment he touched them, the ruins came alive. Light spread through the walls like veins, glowing brighter and brighter. Strange symbols burned into clarity. One line shone more than the rest. Saria swam beside him, her eyes wide. She whispered the translation. When the storm rises, the one who carries the scars must choose. Only sacrifice will open the path. Daniel's chest tightened. He remembered the vision. Eyes in the abyss, the voice of something ancient warning him. Sacrifice. What does it mean? Daniel asked. Saria's face grew pale. The sea speaks of destiny. It does not give without taking. If you carry its mark, then you must pay its price. Before Daniel could answer, the ground beneath them rumbled. Stones shifted. A low roar echoed through the water. From the shadows of the ruins, shapes moved. Giant eel-like creatures, their eyes glowing. With hunger, Saria grabbed his arm. They guard this place. The creatures darted forward, teeth sharp as blades. Daniel pushed Saria behind him and raised his glowing arms. Light burst from his scars, forming a shield of blue energy. The creatures struck, but the shield held. The water shook with the impact. Daniel gritted his teeth. Go, find cover. Saria shook her head. No, I stay with you. Together, they swam through the ruins, dodging the creatures. Daniel's power burned brighter each time he struck back, but it drained him. His body ached, his lungs screamed for air. Yet he kept fighting, refusing to let Saria fall. Finally, the largest creature lunged. Its jaws opened wide, wider than a house. Daniel knew he could not block this one. In desperation, he thrust his glowing hands forward. The scars blazed like fire. A blast of blue light exploded from him, striking the beast. It screamed, twisting violently before sinking into the sand. The others fled into the dark. Silence returned. Daniel floated weakly, his strength nearly gone. Saria caught him, her voice urgent. Daniel, stay with me. He opened his eyes slowly. I'm fine, I think. His arms still glowed, but faintly now, dimmed by the fight. Saria looked around the ruins, her expression troubled. These guardians were not just beasts. They were protecting something deeper. Daniel followed her gaze. At the center of the ruins stood a massive stone door, sealed shut, covered in glowing runes. As they swam closer, the runes lit up, reacting to Daniel's presence. Words burned across the surface, clearer than before. Only the sacrificed one may open the gate. Only through loss can the storm be faced. Saria's hand trembled as she touched the door. This is the prophecy. The storm that will destroy our world. The one you saw in your vision. It lies beyond this gate. Daniel's heart pounded. He could feel the truth in her words. The shadow he had seen, the voice that spoke of sacrifice, it was waiting here. But why him? Why a human? Saria looked at him, her voice breaking. Daniel, the sea chose you, not me, not my people, you. Daniel stared at the glowing door, his fists clenched. He could not escape it. The ocean had marked him. The ruins had named him. And the storm was coming. Behind them, far above the waves, something else watched. The metallic ship that hovered on the horizon shifted closer, silent as a shadow. Its dark hull reflected no light. From its windows, unseen eyes studied the ocean. Not only the sea was waiting, the enemy was watching too. The village square was filled before the sun touched the sky. Drums echoed like thunder, summoning every soul to the center. The people stood, in circles, eyes sharp, voices low. Fear had turned into anger. At the center, bound by ropes of glowing fiber, stood Daniel. His face was bruised from the night before, but his spirit burned. Beside him stood Saria, her silver eyes bright with defiance, though the guards held her back. Kaelor, the leader, stepped forward, his robe swaying with each heavy stride. His voice cut through the silence. This human has broken the order. He walks where none should walk. He touches the forbidden ruins. And now he claims visions of a storm. What proof have we except his cursed scars? The villagers shouted in agreement. Curse, curse, he brings doom. Daniel clenched his fists. He wanted to shout back, to tell them the truth. But his voice would not matter. Fear had already deafened them, Saria cried out. He saved me, you all saw. Would a cursed man give his life to save another? Kaelor raised his hand for silence. A snake may bite, yet its scales may shine. Do not be fooled by beauty. His eyes locked on Daniel. The sea marked you for death, we will honor it. The guards dragged Daniel forward toward a great stone circle filled with fire. The flames roared, fed by strange oils, rising higher than a man. The heat scorched his skin even from a distance. This is the trial of fire, Kaelor declared. If the sea truly chose him, the flames will spare him. If not, he burns. The crowd roared with approval. Fear made them hungry for spectacle. Daniel's heart pounded. Fire crackled, heat pressing against him like claws. He had survived the sea, but could he survive this? The guards pushed him closer. The flames shimmered, twisting strangely. For a moment, Daniel thought he saw shapes within, serpents of light watching him. The ropes burned away as he was thrown into the circle. Fire swallowed him whole. The villagers gasped. Some cheered, some turned away. Saria screamed his name, struggling against the guards. Inside the fire, Daniel coughed, smoke filling his lungs. The heat was unbearable, searing his skin. But then, something happened. His scars began to glow brighter, brighter than ever before. The fire bent away from him, swirling in strange patterns. It licked at his body, but it did not consume him. The flames seemed to bow, circling him like servants. Daniel stood tall, surrounded by a storm of fire, his eyes burning blue. Above, the sky darkened. Thunder rumbled across the horizon. The villagers fell silent. Fear turned into awe. Saria's voice broke through. Do you see now? He is chosen. The sea and the fire obey him. But Kaelor's face hardened. His pride could not accept what his eyes saw. No. This is not the sea's will. This is blasphemy. He bends power not his own. He will bring ruin. Before the crowd could answer, the ground trembled. The fire cracked, spilling outward. From the direction of the ocean came a deep roar, a sound that shook the very bones of the earth. The villagers screamed, pointing at the waves. A massive shape rose from the water, larger than any beast they had ever seen. Its body was armored with scales of dark stone, its eyes glowing like suns. Tentacles whipped the air, spraying water across the shore. The ocean beast had awakened. Panic tore through the crowd. People ran, children cried, warriors raised their weapons though their hands shook. Kaelor shouted, "To arms! Defend the village!" But fear weakened his voice. The beast roared again, waves crashing into the shore. Its eyes locked on the village square. Daniel staggered from the fire pit, his scars blazing like twin suns. He felt the call of the sea once more, pulling him toward the monster. "This is what it warned me about," he whispered. "The storm has come." Saria broke free from the guards and ran to him. "Daniel, no, you can't face that." He looked at her, his eyes calm though his body shook. "I don't have a choice. If I run, everyone dies. If I fight, maybe they live." Her hands gripped his arm. "Then I go with you." Daniel wanted to refuse, to keep her safe, but her eyes burned with the same fire he felt. He nodded once. Together, they turned to the sea as the beast's roar echoed across the sky. The villagers stepped back, parting unconsciously, as if sensing the truth. The human was not running. He was walking toward the storm. The ground shook as the beast pulled itself closer, Its tentacles slammed into the sand, crushing huts like twigs. Its mouth opened, rows of teeth shining in the firelight. Daniel and Saria stood at the shore facing it. His scars blazed brighter than ever. Her silver eyes glowed with courage. The legend was no longer whispers. It was alive, standing before them. And the first battle of the storm had begun. The sea roared as if it had a voice of its own. Waves rose high, smashing against the shore, while the giant beast towered over the village. Its body glistened with dark scales, each one harder than stone. Tentacles lashed across the sand, tearing huts apart, sending fire and dust into the air. The villagers screamed, running in every direction. Some fell to their knees, begging the sea for mercy. Others grabbed weapons, though they knew no blade could pierce such a monster, and yet two figures did not run. Daniel stood at the edge of the water, scars blazing with blue fire. Saria stood beside him, her silver eyes burning with courage. Together they faced the nightmare. The beast's roar split the air, shaking the ground under their feet. Daniel clenched his fists, his body trembling, but he did not step back. "It's here for me," he said quietly. Saria looked at him sharply. "Then it will have to face both of us." The beast lunged, its shadow swallowing them whole. Daniel pulled Saria with him, diving into the sea as a massive tentacle smashed the ground where they had stood. The water closed around them. Darkness swallowed the light, but Daniel's glowing scars lit their path. The beast followed, sinking into the depths with terrifying speed. Beneath the waves, the battle began. The water shook with the monster's movements. Its tentacles whipped through the sea like giant whips. Daniel dodged one, but another slammed into him, sending him spinning through the current. His chest burned as precious air slipped away. Saria darted toward him, her body swift as a silver arrow. She grabbed his arm, steadying him. "Stay with me," she shouted, her voice muffled. By the water, Daniel's eyes narrowed. His scars glowed brighter, spreading light into the deep. Energy pulsed through his veins, filling him with strength not his own. He raised his arm, and the water seemed to bend around him. The beast struck again. This time Daniel thrust his glowing hand forward. A blast of blue light shot out, striking the creature's face. It roared in pain, its massive body twisting, but it was not enough. The beast only grew angrier. Its jaws opened, revealing rows of glowing teeth. It surged forward, swallowing everything in its path. Daniel pushed Saria aside and faced it head-on. His body burned with energy. His lungs begged for air, but he did not retreat. He thrust both arms forward. His scars blazed like twin suns. A wave of blue power burst outward, striking the beast square in the mouth. The ocean shook with the impact. The beast reeled, but it did not fall. Its tentacles whipped forward, wrapping around Daniel. They squeezed, with crushing force, dragging him deeper into the abyss. His vision blurred, his chest screamed. He could not breathe. "Daniel!" Saria's cry echoed in the water as she swam after him. Daniel struggled, but the beast's grip was unbreakable. The darkness pressed closer. His lungs begged for air, but no air came. His mind screamed at him to give up. And then he looked at Saria. She was swimming toward him, fearless, her silver eyes locked on his. She had trusted him since the beginning. She believed he was more than a curse. Daniel's heart steadied. He would not let her die. With the last of his strength, he drew Saria close and pressed his lips to hers, giving her the air he had left. Her chest rose as life filled her again. Her eyes widened in shock, then burned with determination. Daniel pulled away, his vision dimming. He mouthed one word: "Live." The beast dragged him deeper into the black abyss. Saria screamed into the water, but no sound escaped. Her heart pounded with rage and grief. Daniel's glowing scars lit the depths even as the beast pulled him away. She darted after them, her speed unmatched. She slashed at the beast's tentacles with a blade she carried, a knife of alien steel. Sparks of blue light flared where blade met flesh. The creature roared, loosening its grip. Daniel's body slipped free, but he was weak, drifting. Saria caught him, holding him close. His eyes fluttered, half closed. The beast turned, its massive body circling them, preparing for another strike. Its eyes glowed brighter, filled with endless rage. Saria held Daniel tightly. Her own power awakened in that moment. Her eyes burned silver. Her skin glowed faintly. Together with the human, she felt the sea answer her call. She raised the blade, and Daniel's glowing hands joined hers. Human and alien, two lights merged into one. The ocean trembled. The beast lunged. Daniel and Saria struck together. Blue fire and silver light fused into a single beam, piercing through the monster's chest. The creature screamed, its roar shaking the ocean floor. It writhed, twisting violently, then began to sink. Its glowing eyes dimmed, fading into the dark. Silence followed. Only their light remained, faint but steady. Daniel drifted in Saria's arms, weak, his chest barely moving. She pressed her forehead against his, her voice a whisper. "Stay with me. Don't leave me now." He tried to smile, though his lips barely moved. His voice was no more than a breath. "Did we win?" Saria nodded, tears mixing with the seawater. "Yes, we won." But even as she said the words, she knew the battle was not over. The storm had only begun. And far above the waves in Diger, the silent sky, the dark ship still waited, watching. They had survived the beast, but a greater enemy was coming. The sea was calm again, but the calm felt unnatural, like silence after a scream. The monster was gone, its body sinking into the abyss, yet the villagers did not cheer. They stood frozen on the shore, staring at the waves. Two figures broke the surface, Saria holding Daniel. His body was limp, his arms still glowing faintly, light flickering like a dying flame. She dragged him onto the sand, collapsing beside him. "Daniel!" she cried, pressing her hands to his chest. His lips were pale, his breath faint. She shook him, tears blurring her silver eyes. "Stay with me. Please." The villagers gathered slowly, their faces a mix of awe and fear. They had seen him dive into the sea. They had seen him face the beast alone, and now they saw him broken yet still alive. Kalor pushed through the crowd, his face hard but shaken. He looked at Daniel's glowing scars, then at Saria's tear-stained face. For the first time, doubt filled his voice. He killed it. The beast is dead?" Saria glared up at him. "He saved all of you. You called him curse, you called him danger. But without him, your children would be bones in the sand." The villagers lowered their heads, ashamed. None could argue. Daniel stirred weakly. His eyes opened a little, staring at Saria. His voice was faint. "Did we stop it?" Saria bent close, gripping his hand tightly. "Yes, it's gone. You did it." But Daniel shook his head, a shadow crossing his face. "No, not gone. Just the beginning. Something deeper waits. The storm is coming." His words silenced the crowd. Fear rippled through them again. If the beast was only a messenger, then what awaited them beyond the horizon? Before anyone could speak, the sky darkened. The villagers looked up and gasped. High above, the dark ship hung in silence. Its metallic body reflected no light, its shape alien to both human and villager. It had been watching, waiting. And now it moved closer. A low hum filled the air. Strange symbols lit across its surface. The villagers panicked, running for cover. Kalor's voice trembled. "Another beast? No. Worse." Saria shielded Daniel with her body. Her heart pounded as the ship hovered above the sea. But then, the ship did not attack. Instead, it released a pulse of light across the water. The sea shimmered, glowing for a moment as if alive. Then the ship vanished into the clouds, leaving silence behind. Daniel coughed, his body weak. "They're watching, waiting for me. For us." Saria pressed her forehead to his. "Then we'll face them. Together." That night the village gathered. Fires burned bright, casting long shadows. The people stood in silence, their eyes fixed on Daniel, who lay on a bed of woven cloth. His body was weak, but his spirit burned like fire. Kalor stepped forward. For the first time, his voice carried respect. We feared him. We cursed him. But tonight we saw truth. He fought for us when we would not fight. He gave himself when we turned away. This human is no curse. He is our protector. The villagers bowed their heads. Some even wept. Their fear had broken. Saria stood proudly beside Daniel. His name is Daniel, and he is more than protector. He is legend. The crowd echoed her word, legend. Daniel tried to sit up, though his body ached. His glowing arms trembled, but his voice was steady. I am not legend. I am only a man who chose to fight. But if the storm is coming, then I will fight again. For all of us. The villagers cheered, their voices rising to the stars. For the first time, Daniel felt their trust. But even as the fire burned bright, he felt the pull of the ocean once more. Deep in the waves, lights flickered faintly. The abyss was not silent. Something vast still waited below, and far above in the endless sky the dark ship drifted unseen, circling like a predator. The storm had not ended. It had only been delayed. Days passed. Daniel healed slowly, though his scars never stopped glowing. Saria stayed by his side, teaching him her people's ways, learning his in return. Together they stood at the edge of the shore each night watching the horizon. Whispers spread beyond the village, reaching other towns and tribes. They spoke of a human who had faced the sea and lived, who had slain the beast, who carried the ocean's mark. Some called him savior, others still called him curse, but all knew his name, Daniel. And so the legend grew. One evening, as the sun sank and the sea turned red, Daniel stood alone at the water's edge. The waves lapped at his boots. His scars glowed brighter, as if answering some hidden call. He whispered into the wind, I know you're still out there. I'll be ready. Behind him, Saria joined him, her hand slipping into his. We both will. Together they faced the horizon. The ocean waited. The storm gathered. The enemy watched. But in that moment, a new legend was born, not of fear, not of curse, but of courage. A legend that would travel across worlds. The legend of the human who gave everything for one life, and in doing so became the hope of many.